Chosen one, your light just revealed everything they tried to hide. Now the masks are falling off. You felt the tremor of tension in rooms where once you were welcomed, sensed the shift in tone when you spoke your truth, and wondered if your very presence was too much for them to bear. You are not mistaken in noticing the subtle hostility or the sudden silences when you enter. These experiences are real and significant. Hidden truths about envy, fear, and unspoken admiration are now coming to light, and you need to understand why. In this video, you will uncover how your spiritual awakening triggered emotional backlash, the reasons behind every plot they wove in silence, and how to stand firm in your peace amid the chaos they ignited. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will not only explain their hidden agendas, but equip you to reclaim every promise they tried to bury. When applause hides sabotage, they cheered when you took center stage, showered you with praise in public, and beamed in photos with you. Yet behind the scenes, they were laying traps to watch you stumble. You remember the colleagues who congratulated you on your promotion while planting doubts in your boss's mind. The friends who toasted your success yet speculated in hushed tones about how long it would last. Every standing ovation was coated in envy. Every pat on the back a mask hiding whispered criticisms. You walked through corridors of hollow applause, sensing the chill of guarded hearts even as smiles stretched across faces. If you've ever felt the weight of congratulations that felt heavier than silence, you're not mistaken. This isn't paranoia. It's perception honed by experience. They applauded your rise but plotted your fall, believing your light too bright to shine without casting shadows on them. Beneath every clap lay a conflict you were too gracious to acknowledge, a battle you didn't ask for yet found yourself embroiled in. Perhaps you noticed the way your mentor's encouraging words faltered when you delved into your true calling, or how a supposed ally's enthusiasm drained whenever you shared your next big idea. You found yourself second-guessing genuine invitations, wondering if they were genuine or simply strategic moves in someone's agenda. Your heart pounded as you replayed every interaction, questioning, were they truly happy for me, or thrilled to see how hard I'd fall? You felt the sting of being both celebrated and undermined, and the frustration of wondering how to trust again after every warm word turned cold in your absence. Your journey through praise that pierced your soul has been lonely, and you wondered if any applause could ever be authentic. Yet every orchestrated cheer, every hidden barb, was part of a divine plot to refine you and reveal the true nature of those around you. In 2 Chronicles 18 verses 29 to 30, Jehoshaphat warned King Ahab not to join in battle. Yet the prophet's word was twisted, and Jehoshaphat's camp nearly fell. The very alliance meant to strengthen him concealed fatal deceit. Your alliances were likewise tested, not to break your spirit, but to teach you discernment and to lead you toward allies whose applause is genuine, grounded in respect rather than rivalry. That turning point came when you realized that who celebrated you in public mattered far less than who supported you in private. The forced ovations taught you to scan the faces behind the clapping for hearts aligned with your purpose, and to release those whose praise was a weapon. Once you began to listen for sincerity instead of volume, you noticed subtle shifts. The quiet supporter who offered help without expecting a spotlight, the friend who stayed by your side when failure struck, unfazed by your waning momentum. These signs of authenticity stood in stark contrast to the thunderous but empty applause you'd grown accustomed to. Like the dew on morning grass, true support nourishes quietly, unseen until the storm has passed. You heard the gentle "How can I help?" amid the roar of congratulations, and recognized that true applause doesn't vanish when the curtain falls. These glimpses of genuine care signaled a new season, one where your circle would shrink but grow truer, where depth would replace distance, and where your path forward would be lit by the steady glow of heartfelt encouragement. Behind the scenes, unseen forces were arranging divine interventions to guide you away from counterfeit cheerleaders and into the company of genuine allies. You may have chalked abrupt changes in relationships up to coincidence, but every door closing in betrayal was balanced by one opening in blessing. In Psalm 37 verse 23 it is said, "The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way." Your delighted path was being secured even as dishonest hands tried to divert your course. Angels were steering conversations, orchestrating chance encounters, and nudging you toward those who would lift you without ulterior motives. Each invisible alignment rebuked the sabotage cloaked in applause and ensured that your progress was guided by faithfulness, not fickle flattery. At this crossroads, you may find a final hesitation within yourself, the impulse to doubt every compliment, to brace for betrayal at the first sign of warmth. Many resist moving forward, fearing that no applause can ever be trusted again. But true alignment demands more than guarding your heart. It calls for discernment balanced with openness. This is your sacred moment to decide that you will neither shrink from genuine celebration nor allow false cheer to define your worth. Choose to stand tall, accepting heartfelt applause while releasing the need for approval from unreliable sources. Embrace the courage to celebrate yourself, knowing that authentic support will rise alongside you. Now, empowered by a keen sense of discernment, take active steps to cultivate genuine relationships. Release those who applauded only to distract and drain you, and lean into those who uplift your spirit regardless of the spotlight. Create spaces of vulnerability where true encouragement can flourish. Share your vision with those who have proven trustworthy, and offer your support to others walking their own paths. Practice gratitude for the quiet blessings and the steady voices that speak life into you. Watch how your circle realigns itself, bringing forward those whose applause is rooted in love rather than envy. Remember this truth: they clapped for your light, but heaven applauds your faithfulness. Comment sincerity if you choose to celebrate only authentic support from this moment on. As you shed the weight of false applause, know that every genuine cheer becomes a beacon, guiding you and others toward a destiny unshadowed by sabotage. Your true supporters, those who stand with you in both triumph and trial, will be the reason you rise stronger than ever before. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. You triggered the illusion, not the person. You've spent years playing the part they wanted you to play, smiling when you felt rage, assuring them you were fine when every fiber of your being screamed for change, and dimming your brilliance so they could feel comfortable. You felt that tight knot in your chest when praise felt hollow, the sinking fear when the applause died down, and the uneasy sense that behind every compliment lay a silent accusation. Why won't you just fit in? You are not alone in that suffocating experience. Many chosen ones carry the heavy weight of other people's expectations, and the moment you step into your true power, you see their relief transform into resentment. Today, you will learn why your authenticity was never the problem. It was the trigger that shattered every illusion they had built around you, and why their anger was never about you but about the lies they told themselves. Think back to the confusion that came when you first dared to speak your real thoughts instead of repeating safe platitudes. You sat in gatherings where your heart raced to share a vision, only to swallow your words as you caught the flash of worry in their eyes. You felt the sting when friends who once hung on your every word now distanced themselves, texting fewer emojis or offering polite but frosty responses. You remember the hollow feeling when a mentor praised your potential but critiqued the very qualities, passion, depth, conviction, that set your soul ablaze. You questioned yourself. Was I too intense? Too honest? Too much? That inner dialogue, that search for meaning, came from the pain of rejection not because you were flawed, but because you reflected truths they refused to face. Yet every moment of that pain was part of a divine plan to prepare you for this revelation. In the often overlooked story of Micaiah the prophet, 1 Kings 22 verses 8 to 28, he alone spoke the truth that shattered the king's illusion of invincibility, while a chorus of flattering prophets predicted victory. Micaiah stood firm against the tide of deceit and was mocked for it, but his word revealed the hidden reality of the battlefield. Your struggles mirror his divine assignment. You were fashioned to expose the illusions others live by, to shatter the comforting lies, and to bring them face to face with the authentic reality of their souls. This was never intended to isolate you. Rather, it was to prepare you to stand unwavering in the face of any number of false voices. As you began to live more fully in your truth, you noticed subtle shifts in your world. You spoke a candid word and saw the nervous laugh it provoked, the quick glance exchanged behind your back, the stuttered denial that followed a direct question. But you also saw signs of genuine transformation. Someone reached out in gratitude for your honesty. A stranger confided a secret they'd never shared, and opportunities opened that aligned perfectly with your deepest purpose. Conversations that once felt like minefields now crackled with unvarnished clarity, drawing you closer to those who value substance over pretense. These are the unmistakable markers of divine timing at work, aligning your authenticity with the people and situations meant to celebrate your full presence. Behind these transformations, unseen forces orchestrate your journey toward elevation. Angels have been guiding conversations, opening doors that match your inner growth, and realigning your path away from those who cannot receive your truth. In Zephaniah 3 verse 17 we read, "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." That rejoicing is not reserved for angels alone, but extends to every moment you embrace your God-given identity. Your criticism felt like punishment, but in reality, it was preparation for the elevation waiting on the other side of your fearless self-expression. At this critical juncture, you stand poised between the fear of exposure and the freedom of authenticity. Many hesitate here, fearing that stepping fully into your power will leave you even more isolated. They cling to safety and conformity, but true alignment calls you beyond these confines. This is your sacred moment to decide. Will you retract your voice to fit in, or will you amplify it to set others free? The power of your choice matters not for its immediate comfort, but for the eternal ripple it sends through every heart ready for truth. Embrace that moment with courage, knowing that your authenticity is the key that unlocks collective liberation. Now, take this revelation and turn it into action. Release the fear that tells you to censor yourself and instead declare, "I will speak truth in love without apology." Surround yourself with those who celebrate your unfiltered presence. Seek out mentors and friends who honor your depth and encourage your growth. Practice daily rituals that reinforce your authenticity, whether it's journaling your honest reflections, sharing your real dreams in a safe space, or extending kindness to someone bracing for their own awakening. Every step you take in this direction fortifies your identity as a beacon of revelation and signals to the universe your readiness to lead. They didn't reject you. They rejected the mirror you held up to their illusions. This elevation of truth is your divine assignment and their reckoning. Comment truth if you stand unapologetically in your authenticity. As you embrace your full presence, remember that every shattered illusion is a triumph of your soul's purpose. Your light will continue to expose hidden shadows until each heart aligns with the reality you embody. Rise now, chosen one, and let your authenticity dismantle every facade in its path. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. The idea of you was easier than the real you. You've known what it feels like when your genuine self shines too brightly for those around you. They praised the curated version of you, the polished social media updates, the motivational quips, the safe conversations. That you were agreeable, entertaining, and easy to admire. In every gathering, you dished out the expected niceties, wore the comfortable mask they could applaud, and gave them nothing that threatened their sense of control. But the moment you dared to crack open your heart, to speak the convictions burning in your soul, they recoiled. You saw the shift in their eyes when you revealed your depths, as if your honesty struck a chord they could not bear to hear. In that instant, you realized their praise was for the caricature, not the complex being standing before them. It wasn't just disappointment they felt. It was betrayal of their own expectations. They had constructed an image of you that fit neatly into their worldview, a version that reinforced their comfort zones. But authenticity has a power all its own, and when you refused to stay within the lines they drew, you cracked their illusions wide open. You remember the sting of seeing them shrink back, the hush that fell over the room when you veered off the safe script. Their applause felt like a trapdoor opening beneath your feet, a signal that they valued your performance more than your personhood. You questioned whether your voice mattered, whether it was worth the risk of alienation to remain true. That emotional conflict, the longing to belong balancing against the need to be real, became an agonizing tension in your journey. Yet this tension was not a random trial, but a divine wake-up call designed to prepare you for the fullness of your purpose. In the story of Huldah the prophetess, a figure rarely discussed, King Josiah's envoys sought comforting words about religious renovation. Instead of sugarcoating, she delivered a sobering prophecy that sparked fear and repentance. 2 Chronicles 34 verses 22 to 28. Huldah's honesty dismantled the comfortable facade the leaders had built around reform. Your own bold truth-telling is of the same lineage, part of a divine strategy to shatter illusions and steer people toward genuine transformation. Each moment they recoiled was shaping you into a fearless herald of deeper growth, refining you to deliver the messages no one else dared to voice. Now pause and notice the signs that this transformation is surfacing in your life. You feel a new surge of courage when it's time to speak, a clarity of purpose that outshines any desire for easy acceptance. Conversations that once flowed on trivial waves now dive into uncharted depths, drawing out responses that echo the hunger for authenticity in others. You wake with vivid visions of paths you previously abandoned, and doors that closed in polite fear now open with decisive alignment. These are not mere mood swings but unmistakable markers of breakthrough. Proof that divine timing is orchestrating your growth, aligning your boldest steps with the perfect opportunities. Behind these shifts, unseen forces are working tirelessly to clear your route. Angels and spiritual allies have been guiding your steps, redirecting you away from those who could only celebrate the surface and toward the souls who crave your depth. In Zephaniah 3 verse 17 it is written, "He will rejoice over you with singing," speaking to a divine delight in your wholehearted presence. That rejoicing resonates even now, removing obstacles, rerouting adversity, and orchestrating synchronicities that confirm your calling. Each setback you once lamented was a setup for elevation, an invitation to shed the comfortable illusions they preferred and step fully into the power of your authentic voice. At this crossroads, you may feel a final hesitation, the instinct to retreat into amiable projection rather than face the vulnerability of truth. Many resist this moment because the unknown feels riskier than the familiar facade. Yet true alignment demands that you embrace not only the insight that brought you here but the courage to embody it without reservation. This is your sacred decision point, to choose authenticity over acceptance, to honor your divine design even when it means losing the applause of illusions. In doing so, you reclaim the power that comes when your light cannot be dimmed by others' discomfort. Filled with this revelation, take intentional steps to anchor your authenticity in the days ahead. Release the need for hollow praise and invest in relationships that honor your deeper truths. Create sacred space through journaling, prayer, or reflective solitude, where your inner voice can grow without judgment. Speak the words your heart compels you to share, trusting that those who resonate with your depth will join you, while others will step back. With every courageous expression, you solidify your identity as a catalyst for genuine transformation, demonstrating that authenticity is the true path to collective awakening. They loved the idea of you, but the real you demands growth they once feared. Comment authenticity if you refuse to shrink back into comfortable illusions. Let this declaration echo across your journey and through this community, inspiring others to step into the power of their true selves. As your authenticity dismantles every facade in its path, know that your light becomes the beacon guiding the world into a new era of honesty, depth, and divine awakening. Rise, chosen one, and let your truth be the revolution they never saw coming. Conflict was the cover, envy was the root. When sharp words flew across the table and harsh tones cut deeper than any blade, you felt a knot tighten in your chest, wondering why every attempt at dialogue spiraled into accusation. You're tired of walking into rooms where friendly faces become battlegrounds, where polite questions morph into probing criticisms aimed at shaking your confidence. Doubt whispers that maybe you did something wrong, that peace is too much to ask for, that harmony is only a fairy tale for others. You are not alone in feeling besieged by conflict that seems to erupt from nowhere. This theme matters because what you've encountered isn't random drama. It's a reflection of envy hiding behind the mask of concern. In this section, we'll uncover the truth behind these battles and reveal the hidden force fueling every clash. Think back to the moments when constructive feedback twisted into personal attacks, when critiques of your work felt like veiled threats to your very identity. You remember the mentor who questioned your dedication one day, then praised your results the next, leaving you scrambling to understand shifting expectations. You recall the friend who suggested you were too ambitious, as though your vision threatened their comfort, and the colleague whose helpful advice left you second-guessing your abilities. Each interaction felt like walking on eggshells, your heart pounding as you braced for the next undercutting remark disguised as guidance. These experiences aren't just professional hurdles. They're emotional minefields that keep you locked in a cycle of self-doubt. Yet every explosive argument and sudden betrayal was part of a greater journey toward discernment and deliverance. Consider the lesser-known incident in Numbers 12:1-2, where Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses, not because he lacked leadership, but because his intimacy with divine truth made them feel overshadowed. Their criticism masked deep-seated envy, and God's response, striking Miriam with leprosy, exposed the danger of hidden jealousy. Like Miriam, those around you may cloak envy in solidarity or shared concern, but divine timing reveals the rot beneath. This turning point invites you to see conflict not as your failure, but as the unveiling of the true issue, buried envy seeking to derail your path. Now begin to notice the subtle signals that conflict is a smokescreen for envy. You may catch the flicker of a resentful glance when you share a triumph, or sense a tightening silence when you discuss your vision. Praise may arrive only when it serves to pacify you temporarily, while criticisms come disguised as mentorship in moments when your star seems to rise. Like a mirror held up to the shadowy corners of their hearts, your progress can provoke fear in those who feel left behind. These shifts are not coincidences but signposts of transformation, guiding you toward relationships rooted in genuine support rather than silent rivalry. Recognizing these signs is the first victory in reclaiming your emotional territory. Behind these revelations, unseen forces have been working to protect and elevate you. Divine alignment moves in the background, orchestrating allies to step forward at just the right moment and divinely intervening to redirect the malicious intentions of others. In Psalm 37 verses 1-2, David warns, "Fret not yourself because of evildoers, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass." Your struggles have not been tests of endurance alone, but setups for divine elevation, wherein every toxic confrontation is diffused by the higher power working on your behalf. Notice how opportunities emerge just as you defuse a confrontation, or how a helpful voice interjects when envy's dagger is poised to strike. These synchronicities confirm that your calling is real and supported by unseen hands. At this juncture, you recognize that transformation is underway, but you face a choice. Remain on guard against every potential attack, or step fully into the calm assurance that peace is your true inheritance. Many resist this inner surrender, fearing that lowering their defenses will invite more harm. Yet true alignment demands that you embrace peace not as a strategy but as your essence. This is the sacred moment to decide that you will not allow the fear of envy's strikes to silence your voice or dim your light. In choosing calm over conflict, you demonstrate that the power of presence far outweighs the power of provocation. Now that you understand the roots of these collisions, empower yourself to move forward. Release the burden of defending every critique. Instead, ask yourself whether the source stands with you in your purpose. Cultivate relationships where honest feedback is grounded in mutual growth rather than silent competition. Practice responses that pierce envy's veil. Acknowledge constructive insight, then redirect baseless attacks with questions that expose hidden fears. Strengthen your daily routine with rituals that reinforce inner peace. Intentional breathing, affirmations of worth, and moments of gratitude for support that comes without price. Walk boldly, knowing that each step in calm defies the envy-driven storms around you. Conflict was the cover, envy was the root. Comment clarity if you're ready to uproot every hidden dagger and stand firm in your divine peace. Let this revelation resonate in your choices and relationships, transforming drama into discernment and turmoil into triumph. As you embody this truth, watch how the storms subside before your steady presence, revealing the authentic connections you were destined to nurture. Your peace was a threat, not a weakness. You've learned to quiet the storm within so that its stillness could guide you. But what you didn't expect was how this peace would threaten those around you. You've sat in rooms where arguments flared like wildfire, and instead of stoking the flames, you remained calm, your voice steady and your heart unmoved. You could see the confusion on their faces as they expected you to join in the frenzy but found only tranquility. They mistook your silence for judgment, your steady gaze for aloofness, and your confidence for arrogance. You felt the weight of their reactions. Whispers behind your back, icy glances when you entered, the sudden hush whenever you dared to breathe fully. I see you in those moments of isolation, wondering why your greatest strength becomes a target. Know this, you are not alone, and what you're experiencing is a profound sign, not a personal failure. In this section, we reveal why your unshakable peace is the greatest threat to every half-hearted conviction around you, and how it serves your sacred awakening. Remember the first time your calm unsettled someone you cared about, a friend or colleague who lashed out unexpectedly, accusing you of being detached when you simply refused to be swept up in the drama. You may have questioned your reactions, wondering if you were too cold, too distant, or too fearless. Every time you let peace rule your response, you paid the price in confusion and hurt feelings from those unable to bear the mirror you held up to their chaos. You wondered why they couldn't celebrate your serenity the way you once celebrated their excitement. You felt the cold sting of rejection from people who told you they admired your composure, yet wilted under its quiet power. That dissonance between their words and their reactions left you doubting whether your peace was misguided or if you were simply too different to find true belonging. But those moments of rejection weren't random. They were part of a divine calibration meant to prepare you for greater purposes. In the lesser-known story of Habakkuk 2 verse 20, the prophet is told, "But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him." This declares that true power often resides in silence and stillness, not in uproarious displays. Your peace, like Habakkuk's call for silence, is a declaration of divine presence. It calls everyone, friends and foes alike, into accountability with the deep truths they've buried. Each tense pause, every flicker of discomfort at your calm, was a nudge from the universe to trust that inner alignment, even when it made you feel alone. In your resistance to join their storm, you were being ready to stand as a lighthouse for those lost in the waves. Now begin to notice the subtle shifts signaling your peace is transforming your environment. You might find that heated conversations dissolve when you simply refuse to rise to the provocation, or that people pause mid-sentence when they catch the unshakable calm in your eyes. They may stumble over their words, searching for hidden meanings in your quietude, or they may withdraw entirely, unable to handle the reflection of their own turbulence. Yet you also witness others drawn to your center of stillness. A colleague who asks for your perspective when their own anxieties overwhelm them, or a stranger who reaches out, seeking the comfort your calm seems to exude. These are unmistakable signs that your peace is not passive resignation but active transformation. It breaks the cycle of reactive drama and invites a higher way of being. Behind these ripples of transformation, unseen spiritual forces are working to clear your path. Divine alignment is at work, moving angels like wind to scatter the chaos around you and bring into your orbit those who resonate with your peace. In Zechariah 4 verse 6 it is said, "Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord of hosts." Your stillness is powered by that very Spirit, and every backlash you endure is balanced by synchronistic blessings. Chance meetings with mentors, opportunities that unfold in perfect timing, or words of encouragement appearing when you most need them. Notice how conflicts that once threatened to consume you instead fizzle out, and how fresh paths open just as you release the urge to fight back. These are divine confirmations that your calling is both real and backed by unseen hands. You were never the problem, you were the revelation. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members, your belief fuels this movement. For full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Remember, they feared your peace. Now watch as your rise becomes their reckoning.